Okay, I really need to work on my budget. What day is it? So it's June 7th, and I need to do my June budget with me, or just my June budgeting in general. I have been putting it off for a few different reasons. One just being that I had a surgery on May 31st, and I was very busy before that. And then obviously, after I had the surgery, I've been recovering from it, so I haven't really been in the mood to do a video. That being said, spending just continues to happen regardless of what I do. I feel like I'm always spending money. That's another reason why I didn't really want to make this video was because, and I'm not on camera today, was because I just feel a bit stressed out about my finances. Not for any particular reason, just because I think I'm a pretty anxious a person with anxiety, if you will, and it tends to bleed into my finances. But yeah, it's budget with me. I'm Avery. Yeah, so let's just get into it. I'm using ynab. It's called, or it's short for You Need a Budget. There will be a link down below if you want to try a free trial. But so I have a budget with me. I'm just going to keep this chatty, keep it real, if you will, and we'll just go into it. So, the very first thing that I need to do is cover my overspending. So, I have 8 categories overspent, some of them justified, some of them not necessarily. There's also going to be a budget check in, not really a budget check in because I haven't created the budget, a spending check in for June. But yeah, so my rent comes out on the first each month. It's $672.50. I'm gonna cover it from ready to assign. I'm gonna cover everything from ready to assign. My student loans came out at the first of the month as well. I'm currently paying $67.45. That's just the monthly payment. They did this very annoying thing where they were trying to say I was past due on my June 1st payment when I use auto pay. So and they took the money out. So if I'm past due, that's kind of on them. It's just very annoying. I had a very annoying, I'm going to be honest, a very annoying month for May. I did go on vacation, or I went on a trip, I guess, to Colorado. And during that trip, I realized that I did not pay not one, but two of my credit card payments. And I just feel like that was because I am just so chaotic and so distracted and so disorganized all the time, it feels like. But especially during the month of May, work was incredibly busy. Dealing with my dog's dental issues was a lot. Dealing with my own issues is a lot. Dealing with my work's issues is impossible, like so much. I felt just so self-absorbed and like so just distant from my spending and my budget that I didn't even make a payment on two of them. And what I find very annoying about this is just going to be a ranting budget with me. What I find very annoying about this is that I get notifications on my phone for all my spending transactions, but they didn't give me a notification when they assigned me like a freaking late fee, which I find very disingenuous, in my opinion. If you're going to notify me about everything else, you might as well notify me about the late fee. Of course, another thing that caused this was I changed my email address that I had associated with my credit cards. I was using the one that's with my work email, basically, which I shouldn't do. So I changed it to my personal email, but I never check my personal email because I don't check my email. I do, but I don't. You know what I mean? Like, work is like, that's what's kind of annoying. That is what really annoyed me about the month of May, is that I just realized like so much of my life is just focused around this job, that doesn't necessarily, other than a paycheck, doesn't really do a lot for me. If anything, it kind of negatively impacts me because mentally it's just not a great fit, and it's just very stressful, and it's been very busy and about everything you'd expect out of a job. It's been understaffed, of course. Like, it's been understaffed for at least a year plus. My team alone has now 4 open roles in the team, and 3 of them have been open for more than 6 months. We can't hire anyone. They don't pay enough, so a lot of things, a lot of work, just makes me, and I just can't manage all of that. But the reason why I'm annoyed about the student loans is that because I already had that issue with 2 of my credit cards, which I did request a late fee waiver and they did give it to me. They still charged interest on the purchases. It's not that I didn't have the money. I had the money. I just thought I already paid it, I guess. Which reminds me, I need to pay my credit cards again. But I was just annoyed when I checked my Advantage and it was saying like, "Oh, you have a past due payment." No, I fucking don't. Like, you know what I mean? That's what the point of auto pay is. Of course, they were like, "Oh, like it'll resolve itself in a few days." But just the fact that I saw it and I had not seen it before, because I don't necessarily check at the very beginning of every single month, but I do look at my finances and I do check my accounts, and it never showed that before. And I know June 1st was on the weekend. Just that whole thing was just put an annoying taste in my mouth, because then Advantage was doing all sorts of crazy stuff, which I eventually understood, but at the time it didn't make any sense. Like, I literally got 10 emails that were like, and I gotta change my email address on that too. I got 10 emails. I was like, "You're in deferment, you're in forbearance." I never requested that, so what are we doing? But what it was is I'm on that new save plan, and I guess it's deferred for July, and they're recalculating my payment plan. So in August, technically this $67 will go down to like 54, but like, I'm not financially destitute. I'm just a bit unclear on my goals. Like, should I pay off my student loans? If we take a look over here, because all this is doing is like covering interest each month as it stands. If I just kept making payments, I would be on track based off this new plan to pay them off in 2035. But it was like, I'd be on track to pay them off in 2035, and I don't owe a lot. It's like $18,845-ish dollars, give or take. But the reason why I just don't feel particularly interested in my finances is that when I first started, like this before I started YouTube, I was paying off my car loan. So I got a car loan in 2020 during the pandemic, a used car. I put down $6,000, and I had a loan for, I think, like 11,000. It's either 10,800 or 11,800. And I put basically all of the extra money that I earned towards paying off this loan. And I even worked a second job at a restaurant, and I also worked a third job, I guess, at a bakery to pay off this loan, and I paid it off within a year. But ever since then, I've more or less been a bit aimless when it comes to my finances. What really screwed me was if I had the loans in, at my mindset at the time, if during the pandemic, there was obviously the federal student loan forbearance. And what really got me going was when they announced that $20,000, $10,000 to $20,000 forgiveness. For me, it would have been $20,000. So there really just wasn't any point to prioritize paying off my student loans at the time, because before they, screwed everything up, so just before it got taken away again, I would have owed like $2,000, which I easily could have covered. But anyways, what that did was just so mentally just drain me from like working towards certain financial goals. I'd also been changing my mindset in personal finance, where it's like, ultimately I should take this time when I'm young. I just turned 26, so I feel like I'm getting so old, but like, I'm getting older, but I'm still relatively young. And it really makes more sense to invest money, which you see in my Roth IRA. I am investing. Because ultimately that's going to have a longer time horizon, compound interest, et cetera, and I can just prioritize paying the minimum on my student loans. But what that does to me is I realize I do very well with short-term goals, short-term financial goals. That's kind of like not necessarily building something up, but paying something down. and I don't really have a lot of debt, but this is like very long-winded way of saying like maybe I should focus on my student loans again. Still invest money, but maybe my extra income should go towards my student loans. I just don't have a goal. I don't feel like particularly excited or interested in anything. And sorry, yes, this is a very, like I said, it's a very chatty video. We're just coming off the cuff for June. It's my birthday month, so I'm allowed to do the video however I want. But I just don't feel like I particularly have a financial goal. And the reasons for some of this is that, like, okay, what comes next? Okay, you can pay down your student loans, whatever. They're not particularly, it's not extremely high balance, it's not extremely high interest. So there isn't like a huge incentive to do that. I don't get a lot of gain from it, Like if I'm paying $68 a month, I'm not hurting for the cash, For some people it makes sense. It doesn't necessarily make sense for me. Okay, I can keep investing, and I can focus all my money on that. So, but like, I'm young, so it's not that I shouldn't invest. But if my goals aren't to retire early, if my goal isn't any of that, then does it really make sense to like throw every last dollar towards investing? I do invest quite a bit in my opinion, but like, does it make sense to invest every last dollar? You know what I mean? So that's kind of okay. I'm just in the maintenance phase of budgeting, and I'm really struggling with it. I'm really struggling with it because I think my hobby is budgeting or personal finance, but I need more hobbies. I need something else because if I'm working more or less on maintaining where I'm at and slowly building things up over time, then I'm just going to go a bit crazy because now you're just playing the long game. Now you just keep working until you retire, then you die. You know what I mean? But then, of course, I don't want kids. I'll say it. I don't want children. So, if I don't want children, what really is the goal of all of this? And sorry if you can hear a plane. I've discovered since I recently changed my desk setup is that there's a lot of freaking planes that that fly over my freaking house, which doesn't really make any sense because sure, I'm close to the airport in the sense that planes can get anywhere pretty quickly, but I'm not so close to it that I should constantly be hearing planes coming and going. You know what I mean? Anyways, so I could work on saving for a house, but I'm at the point where like my income, I'm just stuck. I'm just stuck. The neighborhood, the area, the city that I live in, houses are going at a stupid prices in my opinion, for a semi-decent area. I don't even consider it particularly decent. So, like, if I'm not interested in having children, I really don't have a need to be in the suburbs unless I like that style of living, which I don't. So, I want to live closer to, downtown or where the action is or whatever. But these houses are like $1 million+ Like, I can't afford that. But guess what? I also can't afford the houses in the suburbs either because they're like $550,000+, and interest rates are crazy. And me and my boyfriend make a combined about $100,000, a little over $100,000. That's not enough money. Like, that's what kills me, is that's not enough money. Me and my partner could be bringing home more money than my dad and my stepmom do. But because they bought a house a few decades ago, they have like a $700 monthly mortgage payment for like a 4-bed, 3-bath, 3 acres, like a very nice large house in my opinion. But when I look at houses, they're like, what, $2,000, $3,000+. We saw my ready to assign. If I only have like $3,500 I'm taking home, even if I can save up the money quick enough, which I can't, but even if I can save up the money quick enough, it doesn't make it, I still can't afford the house. Like, I can't have half of our monthly income go towards housing. So I'm just like, what do I do now? What do I focus on now? And I've done a lot of nice vacations, I don't want to keep doing that, which, by the way, I am saving for another vacation. Shocker. But it's like, what happens next? I have an animal. She costs a lot of money. But like, this idea that you must constantly keep progressing, I think I'm struggling with a bit. The only thing I can really optimize in my budget is putting my credit card payments on auto pay, apparently, since I'm so stupid that I can't remember to pay them, even when the balance is like $30. That's what happened. All that to be said, I need to cover $67.45 from Ready to Assign. But if you have any thoughts and opinions about just like what happens next, let me know. And if this is something you struggle with, definitely let me know. Groceries and household, it's just I need to get that off my chest. So groceries and household, I spent $13 at Kroger. I spent $52 at like a kind of a specialty grocery store so far this month, which means I need to cover that from Ready to Assign, and then we'll come back to this later. Dining out, I'm doing terribly at dining out, and that's because a few things. So I did go to the farmer's market, but what I buy at a farmer's market is kind of not really, produce or vegetables. I buy like already pre-made food. So to me, it's dining out. So I spent $45 at like a vendor at the farmer's market. And other than that, like, I bought coffee for me and my boyfriend. I bought some pastries for me and my boyfriend. And then I got dinner yesterday. So I'm already at $100, and we're 1 week into the month. So it's probably not going to go very well. And this is kind of what takes me back to like, I don't have any financial goals that are kind of I'm motivated by. So I'm just finding money just leaking out, or my spending is very fast and loose in a way that I don't necessarily like, but I don't have any sort of prioritization or like motivation to really focus it elsewhere. And then it says I spent $6.45. Oh, I bought something for my dad for Father's Day that I thought he would like. It was just a small like knick-knack sort of gift. I've spent $28.97 on fun money. So I bought a book. I feel like I need that sound that's like bum bum bum. Like I bought a book, and I have so many books, and this is what I'm really struggling with. I may be depressed. I'm not gonna lie. I may be depressed because I have spent so much. I just feel the need to spend money to like fill the void, but it doesn't work. So then I just get increasingly irate. Can you tell that this week has just been an experience for me? And I've been off work all week, and it's just, I don't know. It's been an experience. So I bought books, but I can't focus on books. I literally cannot focus. I literally have like a pile of like 5 or 10 books that I've read about anywhere from 50 pages to halfway through them. And I'm just stopping, starting. So $28. So I spent $26 on another book, but I'm not really getting anything done. But I just feel the need to get out of the house. I need a hobby that's not reading. I think I need something with my hands. I cooked a lot of food this week, but I didn't like all the food I cooked. Like I've tried some things and didn't like it, and that sucks. Okay, so $28.97 on fun money. There's another plane going overhead. $102 on clothing at Target. I specifically needed specific clothes after this surgery. And it happened to cost $102. I definitely need to buy more clothes around the end of this month. So I'll have to put money aside for that later. And then stuff to budget for. Oh, let's see. Oh, so another thing that happened 2 days after my surgery is the power went out, and it went out around midnight, and then it was out for 15 fucking hours. It was out for 15 hours because some idiot, honestly, like some idiot, and it cost me so much money. Some idiot, I don't know, they hit their car against the electric pole. Again, I live in this area where people just think they can do whatever they want, and apparently they're right. Hit their car against the electric pole, took out the power just in like a 5-block radius that I happen to live in, and then it took 15 hours for them to basically replace the electric pole and get the electric started again. But I was kind of losing it, and I live in an area where the weather is so awful. It feels like it's just so gray, so many times of the day. Like right now, I think it's gray out, but that day it was raining and very, very dark and dim. And I was just laying there in various states of distress. As I also have a shitty fridge. So we're keeping it honest today. I have a very shitty fridge. So what that did was that meant like I slept and I woke up and it still was out. And I was like, we need to go get like frozen, like we need to go get a cooler and we need to get ice. And that cost me, my share of that was $15. But also because all of my food was stuck in a cooler, I had to get, and I can't drive because I was after my surgery and my boyfriend had to go somewhere for the day. I already forget. I was just stuck at home alone. So I had to get food delivered, which I never do that either. I had to get food delivered and that cost me $41. And it was good, but it just was like, that's not how I wanted to spend my money, an extra $40 and then $15. And then my boyfriend ended up buying like a real cooler because this is not the first time this has happened to us. So it's just money, money, money. And then Apple, like the Apple subscriptions, they charged me $5.36 for a renewal on like a app subscription, which was very annoying. I'm just complaining. It was so annoying because it happened on June 3rd, but when you check the app, it said that they would charge on June 7th. I did request a refund, so this is going to come back to me because I was like, this is so dumb. Like, you're charging me 3 days in advance. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, I just felt like I just kept feeling like with the credit cards that was like self-inflicted, student loans, which I didn't understand what was going on, although even though everything worked itself out, I just was still just like irritated by all of this stuff. You know what I mean? But yeah, we'll just cover it, and then when I get the refund, I'll just reallocate the $5. Okay, so I have almost $2,600 remaining. Actually, I want to complain about one more thing. I also had to take money out of my emergency fund last month because you see it's down to 6,200 and previously it was like at 8,600, and then I had to take out 23,000. No, if I had $23,000, I had to take out 2,395, $2,395.62 because the pet insurance. So my dog had her dental surgery that cost like $3,200. I did not have $3,200 sitting in the pet sinking fund or whatever. I had like, I don't know, a couple hundred, 500, 1,000, something like that. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I will just I'll just, kind of carry the negative amount until I get the reimbursement because they were quoting on their website like 15 to 18 days. So that was April 30th. What happened after that? So essentially they kept moving the goalposts around. So on May 23rd, I asked them, what is the status? And I already submitted the medical paperwork. I asked, what's the status? And they said, oh, it's going to take 30 days, which is not what it originally said when I submitted the claim, but they have changed the claim processing time around all the time. So she's like, but after 30 days, if it doesn't happen, we can expedite it. So 30 days comes and goes on like May 3rd, June 4th or something. Whenever the 30-day mark hit, I messaged them again, like in the chat feature, and was like, what is the status? Because I'm like just getting annoyed because I have all this money out of my bank account then I should be getting reimbursed a portion of, and I hate waiting. I really hated it. That's what the May felt like, was I was just waiting for things to happen. And June kind of feels like that as well. And it's just getting my anxiety like popping off. But long story short, they try to tell me that it's going to take 42 days to process the claim. And I said, that's cool and all, but I was just told 30, and I was also told it could be expedited. I was just getting irritated, but all these complaining aside, they did expedite I don't even know if I would call it expedite, because moving the goalpost around and then saying you're expediting it is not expediting, but whatever. They did finally process the claim after I messaged them again. and I should get $2,200 back. I haven't gotten it yet, so we don't see it in my bank account or in my ready to assign. But that was another way that the month of May just really grinded my gears. So once I get that money back, it's just going straight into my emergency fund. Okay, so to do some actual budgeting, it's saying I'm underfunded by 450.75. Oh, I'm in the wrong month. Okay. I was gonna say, there's no way. So $49 for my phone bill. Should I change to Mint Mobile? Sound off in the comments. 91.67 in car insurance. My spin class, I'm gonna snooze. Is that how I do it? Snooze this Target for the month, because I will not be surprised if I get charged and have to message them, because that just seems to be the theme of my life. But I put this on a payment freeze or like a membership pause for until August, because I have like mobility, like exercising restrictions when it comes to this surgery healing process. So I can't go to spin class. So in order to not be charged for it, I put it on a membership pause. So that is nice that I won't be spending that $119. Canva Pro, it's $12.99 a month. I don't know if I necessarily use it enough to justify it, but I think about this every month and I just leave it, because I keep having this idea that I'm just gonna post more videos, and I don't know. $27.83 on subscriptions. Long-term savings and goals. I've been trying to put $167 a month into my emergency fund. My Roth IRA, I want to do $300. I can delete this category for the reduction. Variable expenses. I created a new category. What did I use it for? Oh, it was the interest payment on I probably could have put it under stuff I forgot to budget for, but it is what it is now. I have no money in my variable expenses. Let's think about this. So therapy, I do have therapy. I'm not gonna get charged this month, or I shouldn't be. Transportation, I'm gonna do 70, because I haven't drove yet this month. Basically, today is the first time I've driven anywhere. Now, I don't really anticipate having to drive much places, and I have 3/4 of a tank, so I probably won't really need to fill up that much. In July. Just hold on, everyone. Let me just go back. I'm in June. How did I get to July? Let me just make sure I did everything right. Okay. Deleting this. Let me try again. So, nothing for therapy. $70 for transportation. Okay. Dining out and coffee. I don't know. We'll come back to this at the end. For groceries, let's do $150 maybe. That doesn't even sound right. Yearly expenses. My credit card annual fee, $37.49. My renter's insurance. I did just get an email about this. I think it's $138-ish. So if I just put in the difference, I can just go ahead and get that taken care of. A ynab subscription, let's do $825. Sinking funds, I'm gonna do $60.89 into my Christmas/holidays. My pet category, I'm just gonna switch over real quick. I was supposed to get $25 inflowed into the pet category. I'm a little confused. Oh, I already know. So let's think about. So this is another thing about having a dog. Is that she's so expensive. Like, I spent all this money on all these medical expenses that are honestly, quite frankly, out of the ordinary, but is what it is. But on top of that, I feel like I've spent so much money on like wellness stuff, and it's really just not, it just adds up. Like, it's already time for her to get like her 6-month heart injection and her flea and tick. I'm probably gonna have to look into just different 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 something or other, different like a vet or different services, or buy it myself, something to where it does not cost so much damn money to take care of a dog, you know. $50 into auto. Another thing that happened in the month of May is that one of my tires broke. Also, I spent $72 this month on tags for my birthday. Is every state like this? Like, you have to renew your car registration the in your birthday, like it expires on your birthday, because that's so annoying. But it cost me $72 for a year of tags. But yeah, I did get a flat tire on the highway, no less. I had to use Progressive roadside assistance. Shout out to them. Oh my gosh, that was such a weird experience because multiple people showed. I don't even want to talk about it, but I did have a flat tire in the month of May, so really just everything happened. I did get a replacement tire, but it doesn't match my other tires, and the other tires, I'm being told, probably have short tread life or something, like the tread on the tire. So I might need more tires, but I don't know. And that just sounds like more money. But I probably should set aside more money just in case. So maybe $50 more dollars. My medical, so I just turned 26. So D-Day has approached. When it comes to my health insurance, what does that mean? I have to go on employer sponsored health insurance starting in July. But it's gonna be a whole thing, and I'll talk about it later in a different video. Um, but that is something that's going to happen sooner rather than later. Vacation. So I am going on another cruise. And I've taken the amount and spread it across like whenever the final payment is due. So I'm gonna save that amount each month. So that was 310.72. And if I can, I might put extra money towards whatever. Let's see if I can delete all of these and put them into. I'll work on that later. So I obviously don't need these Colorado ones anymore, but I'll work on that in a bit. Summer, I feel like this category was great in spirit, but in practice, it's too late, you know? I'm spending too much money. But I do think I kind of like the idea of a summer sinking fund if I start it now for next year. So let's just do that. So let's do $25. Fun money, I'm gonna leave that alone for now. Let's do 100 minus 28.97. Beauty, I'm definitely gonna have to come back to that one. Okay, so I have $1,000 left, which seems kind of high. Is that because I haven't put any? Let's do 150 into my dining out. You really just feel like you're signing money in ynab, and you're like, this don't even sound right. Let's try 150. I'm gonna put, honestly, like $500 into my beauty category. I need new clothing. So part of my surgery is that means some of my clothing doesn't fit the same anymore. But I also need clothing for a different reason, which I will talk about probably in a future video. So I really need money for that. I really don't want to go clothes shopping. It's such an unpleasant experience to me. But I will persevere, I guess. Yeah. So I have 349.27. Where should I put this? So 349.27. What should I do with this money? I just don't know. I feel like I need to leave some in stuff I forgot to budget for. $100 perhaps. And then let's take, honestly, should I make a student loan payment? Should I start a house sinking fund? Should I like save money for a house? Should I put more money into the cruise? Like, I really don't freaking know. Do I need more money in my food category? That's probably the most accurate. I really struggle when I get to like this last part. These past few months, I wasn't giving every dollar a job. I've decided to try and give every dollar a job again, but I find it so discouraging when I like assign money knowing I'm gonna have to move it around, which I understand is like the point of it all, but like it's just irritating. Auto, medical. Let's instead of starting a cruise, putting more money into the cruise, let's start one for cruise spending money. Actually, cruise flight, because the flight is probably gonna cost like $500. So let's make this a goal. I don't even know how to make a target. Let's make this a goal. 5. Probably not doing this right. Let's do, I really don't. Yearly, weekly, monthly, I'm trying to figure this out. They change their targets or their goals, and I don't understand it anymore. Like, I don't want a specific date. I liked when it was like $500 due eventually. Refill up, have a balance, save. Oh, I don't want that. I really don't like the vibes of that for no particular reason because I just wanted to put $49 in. Stuff I forgot to budget for. I guess I'll put the rest of it in. 13.23. So that puts me on track to buy my flight. What month? January 1st, 2025. Ideally, I will use just flight miles. Then I can just take this money and put it into just like spending money for the cruise. So I'm going on another rock music themed cruise with my mom and her friend. And I have to make payments on the whatever. And I also have, there's a bunch of auxiliary expenses for a cruise, which by the way, I did not forget about the cruise. How much does it cost to go on a cruise video? I have just momentarily lapsed in memory for the last few months. I did start working on it, but I don't want it to be a bad video, so it's going to take me some time. So 186.77. I don't know. I just feel particularly stressed out and anxious, perhaps for no particular reason, perhaps. Let us do, I'm just gonna update these, whatever. Cruise spending money. I'm not gonna put any money in there for now though, and we'll just change this to cruise hotel. I don't know. Cruise / Miami, because that's where it's at. Miami, spending money. I really liked Miami. I really liked Miami when I went. So 186.77. Part of me really wants to put this. Hold on. This is why I had so much money. Okay, so I need to move things around because I actually want to put money into my Roth IRA, which I thought I had already done because I was in the wrong month, I guess. So 113.23. I'm gonna take some money out of something. Just what am I gonna choose? Not the pet. As much as I wish. Transportation. This is not feeling great. $10 to ready to assign. Oh, that's just so depressing though, isn't it? I guess I should take the money out of my... I don't even want to. I don't want to... I just want to restart everything. Okay, ready to assign. This is what I mean by just being so vaguely irritated by my finances. Car insurance, can't move it, can't move it, can't move it. So really it's like, am I going to spend less money on food? Doubtful. Might spend less money on my dog. There's not even a chance. I need to start putting money into my auto. I don't normally put 100 though, so maybe I'll take 20. Actually, I don't even want to do that. I want to get this up to I really wasn't gonna put money aside for a flight until I did it, and now I really don't want to take the money away because it kind of makes a lot of sense. Oh, I screwed that up. Hold on. Minus 28, 23, 28, 23. See, I'm sitting here, I'm just thinking about Starbucks. I'm not even gonna lie. I just want to spend money. I just want like an iced coffee, you know? 34.27. Oh, that's so annoying. What if I moved? Nothing feels great. Nothing feels amazing. I'm not gonna lie. We'll just leave it like this for now. I'm looking at it like, not feeling amazing about this month. I was thinking I was gonna put money aside into, not money aside, I was gonna make an extra student loan payment. I just don't feel very confident in my spending because I'm like, oh yeah, well, if I spend less money, I won't. If I spend less money, maybe I will. I will not. So when I get to $2,200, how much money is that gonna be? 64.39. Just so curious. 64.39. It's like 22.38. It just puts me back where I was 2 months ago. Okay. We'll see what happens. We'll just see what happens, you know? But yeah. Thanks for sticking around if you stuck around this long. Sorry that it was a bit of a ranting video. I just don't know what I'm doing, clearly. Maybe I'd take out money from stuff I forgot to budget for. I feel like I'm forgetting something. 50, no, yep, $50. And then I'll move that into gifts in case I want to buy my father something else. We shall see. But yeah, thanks for watching. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye now.